Hey guys, Blender Bench here, and in this video I'm going to show you guys how to create shape keys inside of Blender. Now in front of you, you see this character that I created for a client for NFT, but I'm going to be using it for an example of showing you guys how to do the shape keys. Now, shape keys are used as a quick way to go about manipulating the geometry to get different expressions on a model. Now I have this face here and he's posed the way I want for the original, but I want to, kind of add some diversity to it, make a smile, a frown, a grin, things like that. And once you have your model posed the correct way, you want to go to the bottom right section and go to Object Data Properties. And once you're there, you see a section that says Shape Keys. Now, if you hit the plus sign, you'll see we set the basis, which is the foundation of the first expression. And this is the original pose here. Now, if I want to create a second pose, say if I want to make him smile, I would hit this plus sign once again, and you'll see it says key 1. And now we can start creating our first, our secondary expression. And there's a couple of different ways to go about doing it. You can do it in edit mode, but I prefer to go to scope mode because I can just move the geometry a lot easier than turning on proportional editing inside of, edit mode. So at the top left, change it from object mode to scope mode. And the model is symmetrical for me, so I want it to affect left and right, not just one side. So I turned on X so we can, mirror it on the X axis. Now, if I start to move this around with the grab brush, pressing G on the keyboard, which is the hotkey for grab, you see that nothing happens to the model. And that's because the value is turned down to 0. So you want to go to the right where it says value and turn that up. And now, as I start to manipulate it, you see that you can actually see it now. So if I want to make a smile, I'm just using the grab brush to kind of manipulate the geometry. I'm not adding to this, I'm just manipulating what's already there. And I'm going to use the inflate brush, which is this brush here, and kind of puff out those cheeks a bit more to capitalize on it. Now that I'm done with this and I'm satisfied, I'm actually done with this pose, and you can see by sliding the value down from 1 back down to 0, it tweens between the original pose and the secondary expression we just created. Now this is good, this is fine. Now say if I want to animate this and I want to have him go from the original pose, which is basis, to key 1, I can just add a keyframe, and you can do that by hovering over the value and pressing the hotkey I, which is the hotkey for a keyframe. And we are on frame 1, you see here. And if you're not, you can just press this icon here and it'll jump you right to the frame 1. So hover over key 1 value and press I at 0. Right, so we have our keyframe there. And we can slide the slider up to about 30. And we'll change the value to 1. And I'll hit I once again. We have a second keyframe. The slider on the timeline down, you'll see that we have that animation going. So if you go back to frame 1, press play, you'll see that expression's happening. So that's the basics of, creating blend shapes or shape keys inside of Blender. And hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.